So welcome to session 2 of 2. This is the Gauntlet Hangouts. It's an online gaming community, and I'm one of the many GMs who runs games for that. And you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. Anyway, my name's Lowell. You can find at that place blogs and podcasts and all kinds of things. We're playing Zombie World. It's not actually out yet. We're playing with print and play versions. Though we're playing with online print and play. We're using Roll20. We got the cards in there. I've got my little printed out deck. It's a card-based zombie post-apocalyptic game. It is powered by the apocalypse. And to make me say PbtA later on. If you know what that is, great. If you don't, I'm not going to explain it. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We are in the midpoint of a 2-session arc here. We are going to start out with the group that is at their enclave at the prison, and then we'll flip to another character, and we'll kind of be moving back and forth. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to frame in the situation here. We'll take a break at the midpoint, and we will stop when it seems like an appropriate place to stop tonight. We're trying to get to that point. So I'm going to move from right to left across my screen. So Simon, I want you to give me the 30-second pitch on who your character is.
I'm Travis Wheaton. My job in the Enclave is doing what needs to be done. And I am also the person that knows the real responsible of everything that's going down with the food situation.
Yeah, that went pretty well south with your NPC kind of pushing you back away on that. Mm-hmm. All right. Rich, give us the pitch on who you are.
I'm playing Cesar Dudek, the Guardian. Cesar has a large bushy beard. He carries around an axe handle, and he mostly tries to make sure this place doesn't implode, which has gotten increasingly harder lately.
And Rich, you only have one card revealed, right?
I do. He only has revealed the Guardian. His stress thing and his history have not been, his origin have not been revealed.
And the same thing for you, Simon. You've just got the one card revealed. Okay. Excellent, Mr. Dudek. Let's come to our third player. Joe, please tell us about your character.
I am playing Michelle Martinez. She's the survivor of the group. And it turns out, before the fall, she was also a survivalist and had planned for any number of sorts of apocalyptic scenarios. So she's almost always armed.
Excellent. And finally, we'll come to David. David, please tell us about your character.
I am playing Levi Ebersole, who has turned out to kind of be a heel to our group of survivors here. I am the visionary, and the way I haven't interpreted that is that I am actually a very fundamentalist type of quasi-Christian. I was raised Amish, and I snapped when the apocalypse happened, and now I think I'm talking to God. And then I am also compulsive because I think I can take things just on a whim because I'm God's chosen one. I have splintered off from the group and am currently pursuing what I think is God's plan for us, which is trying to take a bunch of food from a dangerous place and bring it back.
Excellent. So what I want to start with is I want to kind of check in. Let's look at the scene sort of in the immediate aftermath of Levi heading out and Levi killing one of the members of the Enclave, shooting him in the chest. And let's look at the immediate aftermath of that, and then maybe we'll look at a couple of setup scenes there before we flip back to Levi on the outside. So the three, you have all talked down these two guards. You've talked down Irene and she kind of helped you and talked down Bavara, and they gave you the story about how they were, at that military base, and the woman that they have with them, they're here to protect her because she's a scientist working on the disease, and that got settled out, and Irene has removed Bavara's sidearm. And he seems to kind of just be, kind of fallen in on himself a little bit. And she will say to you three, she says, I will keep an eye on him if you want to go and check and see what's going on at the rest of the prison.
That seems wise.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Fair.
Okay. And she'll say, she can see you kind of probably look at the scientist, and because we'll have this conversation a little bit later. Okay. And you can fall back to the prison, and you smell smoke, and you come running up, and you can see that there is now this smoke grenade clearing out from just outside the armory, and there are a bunch of people coughing and a bunch of people standing around, and as you come up, Michelle, you will see the blood splatter on the wall, and that sort of slump streak running down the wall, and you see that Clayton Mathis is been shot in the chest and he's dead. What's your reaction, Michelle? Is this relief, or are you angry? What's your reaction here? Because I asked Joe for a reaction, that's the point at which he's going to freeze.
Oh, what?
There we go. You froze for just a second.
Oh, joy. All right. Well, I'll be prepared to switch over at any moment.
Sure.
It's not so much relief or anger. It's just like she's taking it in. Like it was mostly a physical relationship in which she used him, but like she knows what's gotta happen, and she's pulling out the knife to just stab it through the side of his head.
All right. So when you move up with the knife, everybody knows what kind of has to happen, and they'll move out of the way to let you do that. I assume that Cesar and Travis are kind of holding back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Michelle, I need you to draw savagery.
All right. I gotta look at my things. Savagery is 2.
Okay.
All right. Draw 2 cards. This edge.
Okay. So you have a choice now. You can mark a stress, or if you don't want to mark stress, you can just draw the top card from the bite deck.
So what's the odds in the bite deck? What is in the bite deck?
So
you didn't have to deal with that before.
Yeah, here I'll show you what's in the bite deck. I think it's 16 cards, and I think about a little less than half of them are safe. Nothing bad happens. And then there's 3 kinds of threats, like something breaks, the problem escalates, more zombies. And then there's one of these, the bitten card.
There's only one bite card.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't help me.
Yeah, important to note that it doesn't reshuffle.
Darn.
So
yeah, no, I'll take the stress.
Okay.
Where do I mark that down?
So everybody starts with.
I see it.
Yeah.
Never
Got
mind.
it. All right.
0 of 5, right?
0 to 5. So tell me what that looks like. What do we see you do? What is it? What is necessary? Is it just stabbing in the head? Is that what's necessary to dispose of these bodies?
It's destroying the brain. So
Okay.
like, the survivalist mind is we don't want to waste resources. I use a knife. It's clean, efficient, and just go through the side.
Okay, just we hear that.
There's already been too much noise in this place.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, then, Cesar. You will see that Percy is there, and he's talking to some people, and he looks, maybe angry, but also a little bit like that joyful of "I told you so" kind of going on. And he will turn and look at you, and he'll say, "It was that little fucking white boy."
Maybe. We need to make sure people are safe. I know that he's been a little erratic.
He ran out across the yard. Lindsay said she saw him go out and crawl over past the barrier.
You think he killed somebody and then ran off? What?
He came up here and he knocked Greg down and broke into the armory. Clayton had brought some people up here to try and stop him from getting into the armory. I don't know what put him up to that. They tried to stop him from getting in there, and he threw a smoke grenade out and then came out firing and shot Clayton in the chest. It's a pretty good shot for an Amish kid.
Okay. Did he take off now that he's got what he wanted?
Wow, that's what I said. Lindsay saw him head out.
Yeah.
He went outside.
He's making a run for that. Okay.
You hold off mentioning exactly what's going on. I like that. Okay. What is your reaction to all of this, Travis? You see a lot of people there. They look kind of sick. They look hungry. There's some people who are they took a big lungful of that smoke grenade, and they're already weak from the problems with the food today. What are you doing?
I think at first I will go assist Michelle. And
Okay.
I think we need more than one person to carry Clayton away.
So we'll assume that you have some kind of incinerator or some kind of place that you, since it is kind of your job, probably end up finishing off the bodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one point, I assume, Michelle, you let me help you.
Yeah, sure. Make sure we take anything of value out of his pockets. But as we're dragging him, I remark it's a shame that the ground's not deep enough that we could just bury him, use him for fertilizer.
So, how are you doing? Are you holding up, Michelle?
I'm processing, but we still have a bigger risk at hand.
Yeah, I know that. It's just I really want to make sure you're okay. I know you two were close.
Well, we were physical. It doesn't mean we were close.
Sometimes it's just you seem to put a barrier on between the two, but it's not always the case.
Well, in this type of world, you have to know not to hold on to anything too tightly.
All right.
You gotta look out for yourself above all else.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So, I don't know. I'm trying to get to open up. You're to move open up to someone, and just doing it very badly.
Okay. Yeah. So let's have you draw Soul.
Yeah, just before that, I just want to reveal one of my cards.
Ooh, okay. What's getting triggered here?
Oh, I don't have it in front of me. Just 1 second. Forgot to open that. Okay, so I revealed when I tell another survivor how you are worried about someone's stability.
Nice.
And so my card is the psychiatrist.
Excellent. So we see you actually kind of engage in some psychiatric techniques here.
Like I said, did really badly in my role play, but that's what my character's doing.
No, I think that's perfect. Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and pull Soul?
So I'm on 3 souls.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Yes.
Miss. Another miss. And of course, oh, an edge.
An edge. So an edge is a hit. So on a hit, you both clear a stress. And then you get to choose one.
Actually, I get to choose 2 because of the psychiatrist thing.
Okay. So can look at one of their face down cards. So Joe, what player number are you?
Michelle Montana. Oh, player 1.
Player 1. Okay.
I was like, what's my number? Oh, right, the PDF.
Okay. And we know that you're a survivalist, and we know that you're a survivor. So do you want to look at Joe's third card?
Yeah, that's about the only. It's trauma, the only option left.
Okay. Well, you get to ask him a question,
it?
and while you're asking him that question, I'm going to email you his third card.
Okay, perfect. Question is just. Let's see.
And then I also will choose one.
Yes.
How far are you willing to go if somebody sabotage the enclaves?
Oh, I will murder them.
Okay.
I will torture them and murder them.
Let me quickly grab this.
And then let's see. Let's see. And you only have one face down?
Now I have only one.
Yeah, let's see. No, same question. No, what are you willing to do to Simon for what he's done here?
To Simon?
To Levi.
No,
To
Levi. Sorry. I'm looking to me. You're Simon. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, do it yourself.
Whoops.
I'm willing to hear him out before being too drastic. But I'll do what's necessary in the end.
And I think that we'll kind of move. There will be a general gathering of the populace in the prison. People want to come together, kind of talk about what's going on. They will put a couple more guards. A couple people will volunteer to watch the armory. Everybody's on edge. Like there's that thing of, are we all supposed to now grab our weapons? Is that what's going on? Is that what's happening? Because people aren't sure about that. And the Nunamakers, the Amish people the elder of them will stand up and will say, I just want you to know that young man, he is that is not our way. I don't know how he was raised, but he is not of our people. He is not one of us. These actions have shown that there's something wrong with him. That the world has gotten to him. And all of the rest of his family seem very, very nervous. So let me ask you three this, and then I want to go over to Levi. What is it that you three tell? I mean, are you kind of keeping your own counsel, or what? You know, when people come and ask you because they know that you were talking to them earlier, and there's this. What is it that you say, Cesar? What is it that when somebody says, "Well, what do you know about what's going on, Cesar?"
We have a person who's been murdered. We have a witness who saw Levi. My opinion is that if we see Levi again, we need to apprehend him. If he has a weapon, you need to stay away from him. I'll deal with it. Come find me.
And people nod, and you will notice that Opal Ramirez was pretty close to Levi. She keeps kind of to herself. She doesn't say anything. She keeps quiet during all of this. And she's clearly waiting to get called on the floor. Like her hackles are up. So you will see that.
I would definitely not call her out in public, but I do think we need to talk to her. Try to find out where her loyalties lie.
Okay. Michelle or Travis, are you saying anything to the people? I mean, what? Anything adding on to what the narrative that Cesar has woven here?
I think I'll probably be a little more. Levi has taken it upon himself to claim to go get food. We'd planned to wait till morning when it would have been easier to travel and easier to defend ourselves. He believed God or whoever was talking to him and would protect him, and didn't want to wait. Then he tried to bribe us with stolen food.
And so wait, you guys are going out
Tomorrow morning, yes.
And there's some rumbling because this is the first time people have talked about actually going out to get food or things like that, and there should be so who all is going?
We are still deciding that. We can't take everyone. Obviously, that would be irresponsible.
Yeah, you can see people kind of like that looking at each other, the judging who's expendable, judging whether they should go or not, judging if you guys are gone, there's all that jockeying that's kind of the knowing looks going around this room of people here when they hear that news. And Travis, are you throwing anything into this?
No, I choose to remain silent.
Okay. So we'll come back to you three. We'll come back with Cesar talking to Opal, and you can bring along anybody you want on that, and then maybe we'll kind of move to you guys figuring out how you want to head out. But I want to check in with our lone prophet in the wilderness, if I may, here for just a moment. So, Levi, you have headed out. You've climbed out over the barricade. You have a rifle, right?
Yeah, I think I have a shotgun and a riot shield, and then maybe some other riot gear. I'm not really sure.
So right now, you've got a +1 to armed conflicts until time passes. And you make your way past those strong fences, and it's getting dark, and you want to head on over. I mean, it's a few hours over to that military base, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Then why don't you tell me how does Levi do this? What's Levi's sort of plan? His approach.
I'm looking at my cards again, and there's a third card, right?
Yeah.
There's your two cards on the left. You had to choose one of those two, and then the two cards on the right are like your cards, right?
Yeah. There's the top one should be your past, and the bottom one is your trauma. That's how you kind of deal with stress and things.
Okay. Interesting.
Which player number are you again?
I am player number 2.
Okay. Just gonna pull my stuff up so I can just make sure in case you have a question about that. So tell me. Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So is there like 1 or 2 zombies as I'm making my way out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are out here. There's noise. I mean, enough noise from the prison that zombies are drawn here and kind of bounce around against it. We talked about them moving a little bit like a flock when you guys were watching them over the fence last time. Just briefly, I mean, we only had them on camera like for a few seconds last time, but now we're on the ground level and you're seeing them.
Yeah, so I was just seeing if there was like a couple in my way that I would dispatch without too much risk.
So does it sound to me what I'm moving towards is there's a larger scale move called make a plan, which kind of describes your approach to doing something. And right now I think you're trying to get through. Would you describe yourself as just bullying through with violence, or being careful and stealthy, or would it be about just being implacable?
I think that I am trying to bully through with violence.
Okay. So what we do is we pull for the make a plan, and that kind of tells us where we zoom in when things go wrong.
I see.
And at that point, you may be fighting a swarm or whatnot.
Okay.
So I don't think there's significant disagreement because you know your own mind and God is telling you what to do. But I don't think you got resources or accurate current information. So I think that we are just going to have you draw your savagery.
Okay. Do I get the bonus from being armed, or is that not a part of this?
That's not a part of this. You will get
Okay.
that when we kind of have you get killed. I mean, fight the zombies.
All right. Well, let's see what we got. Great. 2 misses.
2 misses. So it's dark out here. And while you have the riot gear and you have the gun and stuff, you don't have a flashlight. You don't have a light source. And you're kind of trusting in God to, provide you with the right way, the right direction to go. And you will come down over like a rise, and you kind of miss this step, and you realize that this is like a concrete embankment, and you will there's been some washout, and you kind of catch in that, and you actually go tumbling down to the bottom of that embankment, and you will realize that you have rolled into just the middle of a swarm. Like, just because this is kind of like maybe a dried out, normally might be a municipal water a passage thing, it's empty. And just because of the nature of it, the zombies have kind of congregated here because they kind of get down and then they have a hard time getting up. So there's just a mass of them around you. So what do you want to do?
Okay. I know there was some lingo with the zombies and the groups of zombies. Is the swarm the one you can fight, or is the swarm the one you have to flee from?
Swarm you can fight.
Okay.
If I had said horde,
horde's the one you can't. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, they're probably right now immediately by you a half dozen zombies that are turning. Now, when they're fresh, we said that they're fast, but then they get slower. So these are a little bit slow, but they have numbers, and you've made a lot of noise coming down, and you've certainly drawn attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I will try and dispatch them with a casual display of violence.
Okay, I'm going to recall some cards, and I'm going to shuffle this deck. All right, then why don't you go ahead and pull Savagery?
All right, and now I get the weapon bonus.
Now you get the weapon bonus.
Okay. So now I'm drawing 3. I got an opportunity as my best card.
Okay. Do you want to mark that stress?
I will mark that stress.
Okay. So tell me what that looks like.
I think, like, if there was anyone here to see me do this, it would be distressing, to say the least, that, like, I'm dispatching these zombies with such ease. Like, I think it's like I come tumbling down in the midst of them, and they start to kind of scramble up and move towards me. And I stand up, like, very calmly, and I just start like smash the first 2 of them, their heads with the edge of the riot shield. And then, like, 2 of them come on me more in a hurry, and I just check them back, like, not like very concerned, just kind of casually check them back, and then level the shotgun on them and lay out the 2 of them. And then the other 2 come, like, one at a time, and I just trip them and just, like, take my time just cracking the melons.
And you will seriously reduce their numbers and keep them, push them back from getting on you on this point. But there are a lot of them, and there are a lot more coming. If you had backup, maybe you could have pulled some space away, but you're on your own here. But yeah, I mean, do you want to keep trying to fight your way on through? You want to fall back? What do you want to try and do here?
So I think I just revealed my past card.
I think we can put that on camera. Do you want to tell people what your past was before you came here as an when you were on your Amish walkabout? What happened?
When I was on my Amish walkabout, I got in with the wrong crowd. I got in with an MC, a motorcycle club. That's where I met my friend, what's her name? Ophelia?
Opal Ramirez.
Opal. Yeah, that's where I met Opal Ramirez. That's where I got, like, kind of super racist. And that's where I kind of got extremist, like the seeds of extremism, at least. And now it's just come to full fruition. Like, this is what we kind of talked about in the MC. So my past was as a biker.
All right. So our sons of Amishry, or however we want to say that. So let me ask you this again. Do you want to keep trying to push through here, or do you want to try and find some space to hole up to wait until light?
I think I came I think like I came this direction. I didn't mean to fall down here, but I did. But I came this direction because I knew that I had hidden a dirt bike out here before. Is that something that could be possible?
So you could forage for supplies if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah, I mean, it might
I
not
think
be here anymore. But...
So, but I think first we need to figure out how you're getting some space here. Is it fighting? Is it fleeing? Is it tricking?
Now that I've like gotten a little bit of space, I think I'll try and trick them.
Okay. Then let's have you pull with steel. And I'll have you tell me what your stratagem is, and then we can double back to you foraging here.
I've got an edge as my best.
Okay. So tell me what it is that you do to trick them and get them away from this area.
I think that now that I've cleared a little bit of space, I just grab the lapels of one of these zombies that I've killed, and I start to drag it. And the second that like any of them start to get close to me, I just throw the dead body at them so that they like stumble with it and like it trips them up and they fall over. And I just keep repeating that process and like dragging them further and further away from where I think I hid that dirt bike so long ago until like I can maybe circle back.
All right. So here's what we're going to do is you do that on an edge. You can choose to mark stress or draw a bite card.
I'll try bite card.
Okay. Then go ahead and draw the top card of the bite deck.
All right. Safe.
Safe. All right. So we will put that safe card then down below the bite deck because it's now out of there for a bit. Got my little discard pile there. So we are going to come back to you and with your exploration and foraging for supplies after I check in with the other group. Kind of see what they're doing during the course of the night here. So assuming that in the morning you three want to head out, what are your preparations? Are you hitting the armory? Are you recruiting people? Are you talking to people? What are you doing? Cesar, what is most important to you right now?
I want to talk to Opal. I want to talk to Opal before there's a lot of commotion in a quiet way. I need to make sure she doesn't feel like we're backing her into a corner.
And she definitely, as soon as this meeting breaks up, she does kind of head off. You wait a bit, you give her some room. And where do you find her?
I think I find her we'll reuse a space from last session. I find her near the food prep area.
Okay. She's like seated at one of the tables there. She's got like a coffee cup. It's empty, but she's kind of sitting there and fiddling with it like you do. Mm-hmm. And she sees you come, and she doesn't drop her hand to her pistol, but she definitely kind of gets a little more alert. And she will say, "Cesar,
Opal, we're heading out, and I'd like for you to come with us. You and Levi seem to be close, and I'd prefer it if we could talk this out."
She I don't know if that's a great idea. He is my brother. And she kind of says it, she clearly doesn't mean literal, but she clearly puts some weight on that.
Well, your brother killed a man and stole from us. And there are a lot of people who want to do him harm over it. I'd like to avoid that.
Let's have you draw soul.
Okay. I'm drawing from Survivor deck, yes?
Yes.
Oh, I got a miss and a triumph.
And you gave her motive. I mean, you told her why, and
Yeah.
she will say, if I can talk him down, then what?
If you can talk him down and he'll come back to us peacefully, then we will have a trial. And the person who was murdered will see justice for what was done. But we can avoid any more living people causing each other a lot of problems.
I don't want him dead, and but I don't want other people dead.
I appreciate that. I feel the same way.
And as she will go back to essentially kind of habitually drinking from the empty coffee cup.
So you'll come with us in the morning.
Yeah, I'll come with you.
He just kind of pats her shoulder to friendly gesture, and then he's good to go. He'll leave that be.
She'll stop and she'll say, wait. And she will reach in her pocket and she will pull something out and she will pass over to you a set of cuffs with a key.
Thank you.
Michelle, what is it that you want to do on this night of preparations?
I guess I'm gonna go approach Damascus or Demarcus.
DeMarcus. And you kind of got in his face before, and you embarrassed him in front of his crew. So he's definitely pretty neutral, leaning towards not digging you. So he keeps his peace, though, when you approach.
Demarcus, I realize that we don't have the best relationship, but we have a bigger problem at hand, as you likely have heard.
You mean Crazy God Boys?
Yes, the Crazy God Boy. I'd like to know whether or not you want to come with us for this scavenging mission, or whether you prefer to stay and help defend the camp. I recognize your skills as being best suited for either. You're a person that people look up to. You connect well with people, but you're also no stranger to violence.
Yeah, I've been looking around, and there's some people who may get a little more itchy here now that all this shit has gone down the last couple of days. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's on edge. let's have you draw soul, Michelle.
Oh boy. It's gonna be bad.
Could be.
One. Draw. Miss.
So he will say, I'm not going out, but I will stay and I will keep things safe.
Very well. That is your wish, and while we may not get along, I do believe that you care for the survival of this place.
Yeah, because
And the survival of yourself.
Yep, you got it. You know, we haven't had people go out and come back, so we're going to have some kind of procedure when you come back in that we check people.
Indeed. Obviously, we plan on stocking up at the armory, perhaps you and your crew, when we return, depending upon how many return. We're going to have set up a system where anything taken from the armory is immediately confiscated upon the return.
Sure. That sounds like a plan to me.
Very well. It's like, soul, what is that?
And yeah, you can see, and as you head out, you see he looks at his comrades, and he says, I'm going to put a cap in that bitch's head when she comes back. And they laugh. So let's cut to Travis.
I need to have a word with Cesar before.
Okay. Cesar, you will see after you leave the food hall. You will see Travis kind of walking around, sees you, and heads your way.
Can I talk to you a second?
What do you think, Cesar? Or do you make him stand there in awkward silence for a moment?
Oh, it was fun. What do you need?
Levi might not be the biggest problem we have right now.
Okay.
As misguided as he is, at least he's trying to help the place. I'm coming to you to because I'm sure you're the most reasonable here and trying to have a bloodshed.
Trying.
Someone that's been stealing food, and I don't mean Levi. I just learned that today.
Who is stealing food?
It's Virginia.
How do you know?
She's my friend, so she told me she's keeping a stash in case things go wrong.
Oh,
That's
I
how
guess
she
you can bring it out now.
That's how she always operated. That's how she always lived.
Why don't you get Virginia to discover that stash and share it with everyone?
I tried.
And okay. Well, we need to talk to her.
That's what I figured, because my next step was going to just put a bullet in her head. So I thought I tried a bit less drastic measure before.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's do the best we can to try to save her life and ours.
Do you want to go talk to her right now?
Yeah.
Okay. head down, and again, she shares her area with Travis. They're pretty tight, and so the two of you will head down there to the cell that they've got, and she'll look up surprised when you two come in.
A smile. Virginia, I just got the good news. I'd always thought that you were a very resourceful young woman. And so it didn't really, honestly, it didn't surprise me too much when Travis told me that you found a cache of food. I know in these tight times, it's probably tempting, to squirrel that away just in case. But I'm here to ask you if you would share with the community, if you would have that in your heart, so that everybody can survive.
Let's have you draw soul here, Rich.
Okay. This is where I really wish I'd put more than 2 in my soul, because I did not realize I would be rolling this all the time. But that's okay. I haven't reshuffled. I don't know if it's automatically reshuffling.
I do. I reshuffle when I pull those back.
Good man. It's not good. 2 misses.
Now, here's the question. Are you assisting?
Yeah, I think
Travis?
I can.
Okay. Rich, how many cards do you have exposed? Just the one?
I just have the one.
Okay.
Just the Guardian. That's it.
So you can. So Travis, you mark a stress, and you can draw one more card.
Mark stress and one more card. An opportunity.
Rich, do you want to mark stress?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will totally mark stress. That sounds amazing. Much better than failing.
So she takes a look, and she will say, if I had known Travis was just going to do this, I wouldn't have listened to him when he told me to go and steal this shit. Put me here in the hot seat. Just want you to know that it's that fucker who told me to do this in the first place.
Okay.
And she'll point to essentially Travis's section of the thing, the cot and stuff, and she says he's got the cash under his bed. It's there.
Thank you. She had a man die over food. I don't want it to keep building up. Nobody will know.
And she will grab her stuff that she has, the minimal stuff that she has, Travis, and she will decamp from your room and heads out. And you can see that she's clearly planted all the food underneath your cot. And you can pull out what looks like a couple of days worth of food there for everybody.
She lied.
Yeah.
Right, Travis?
Mm-hmm. She did.
Okay. Doesn't make sense to me that you would come to me when you ordered her to do it, so that's what I figured. Let's get this food to everybody.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
And he'll reach down and grab a can of beans and hand it to Travis.
Okay. Better keep that for everybody.
Michelle, let me ask you one question before I cut back to Levi. Are you planning on arming your group before you head out?
Of course.
Then why don't you draw survival?
Okay. I'm good at that. So
Yeah, that's why
I was like, I'm the one that should do this.
exactly. I'm being a generous GM.
I'm the survivalist after all. 3. Do I do any? No, it's only when dealing with dead. All right. 3 cards. 3 cards. Miss. Hey, Miss Edge.
Edge. Okay. So what's going to happen is everyone in your group that goes out will get a +1 to armed conflicts, but that is going to exhaust the thing. So it's not going to. You're going to have to do something to get it reset now. Okay.
For sure. Okay. And it's ongoing, so we remember.
Yeah. It will last while you guys are out in the field on campaign.
So by it exhausts, that means it exhausts what's currently in the armory?
Yep, exactly. So until you get it set, you don't use that advantage.
I'm okay with that. That means there's less weapons for the people behind.
Exactly. I'll tap it to show that it's been used. Okay. So I'm going to cut back to under a little bit of starlight, moonlight. We cut back to to Levi going along this dried out canal, trying to find the place where he stored his stuff and things. Well, let's check with that. So the way we do this is a foraging for supplies pull. And what you do is you get to draw 3 cards from the survivor deck, David.
Okay.
And for each hit, you get +1 gear. And there's a little list of useful gear here.
How interesting. I've got 1 edge.
Okay.
That's the only good one.
So now here's the thing. The great thing about this is if you want, you can push your luck to draw 3 more cards to kind of keep going. If you do, all you have to do is draw a card from the bite deck.
I love how you sell things. It just makes my day. Well, let me ask you this. Can 1 hit make this dirt bike happen, or is that not going to be enough?
So let's talk about what it is. So 1 gear right now is useful but disposable item, like a flare or a few rounds of ammo. 2 gear is useful but smaller, limited, like a flashlight, keys, clothes. 3 gear is useful but difficult and bulky, lots of ammo or medical supplies. 4 gear is probably what we're looking for, a valuable or useful item.
Oh, goodness. So I would have to get 3 hits.
Triumph.
Yeah.
If you pull a Triumph, it counts as 2 gear.
Oh, I see.
And there's a Triumph and an Opportunity in there. So, I mean, that could be 4 more gear if you drew both of those.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I don't have a chance of pulling this unless I push my luck.
That's true.
So that sounds like that's
okay. So let's have you draw 3 more cards from the survivor deck, and let's see what you get.
All right. What do we have now? Oh, darn. Just 1 more edge.
Okay. So that'll be like a useful but smaller limited item, unless you want to keep pushing your luck.
Oh, well, that's an interesting proposition. I didn't know I could just keep pushing my luck. How many bite cards have we drawn?
None.
I drew 1 earlier.
But they got reshuffled.
Oh.
As soon as the bite card got redrawn.
There's only 1 bite card. There's like 1 bite card.
Oh yeah. We've drawn 1 bite card, the safe card. You're right. Yeah, there's 1.
Isn't he supposed to draw 1 right now?
Yeah, I have to draw 1 right now. It's just
Let's try that. Let's see what happens, because it might be awesome.
It's a threat. More zombies.
So yeah, you are doing this, and there is a group coming down towards you, and you're going to have to deal with them. So right now it looks like pushing your luck is not a possibility. You have to deal with them first. What is the useful but small or limited item that you find, though? Clothes, keys?
I mean, that's the
Flashlight?
question. I save these in case I do want to try and push my luck more, or
No,
is
I
this
think
a
actually
stop to
you're
it?
right. I think because the zombie thing appeared, I think that probably breaks the chain effectively.
Okay, so if I come back, I'm going to have to try and start from square one again, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
That sounds miserable. So you can never actually find a dirt bike. That's what I'm...
I actually had people draw 4 gear on 2 things. They got a triumph and an opportunity.
Wow.
And they lucked out.
All right, so it's a small or useful bit of gear.
Yeah.
A small or useful bit of gear.
What do you think would be really useful to you right now for this procedure?
I mean, for taking care of a few more zombies.
I mean, for generally for doing this exploration, is it a flashlight or is it some other?
Oh,
piece?
yeah. For like trying to make this easier to find the thing that I am looking for. Yeah, maybe I find the keys and it's got a little key fob, and I press the button and it sets off the alarm, and that's what attracts the zombies.
Okay, so you got set so sets off the alarm on a nearby car. Is that what you're saying, or what?
Yeah, I mean, like if I was looking for a motor vehicle and like I just found the little fob and but the fob just like makes it honk, like, and it attracts zombies, like that would not be it would be a useful bit of thing to help me find the thing that I'm really looking for, but it would really create a problem. Does that work, or should I just find a flashlight that'll help me find the thing if I keep looking?
Let me think on how we read this. Well, I think it does mention keys. So let's say that, yeah, you can find a set of keys, and maybe, I mean, you're assuming that the car must be around in this area.
Yeah, I mean, I was originally looking for a dirt bike, so
right. So with these keys, with the possibility of maybe finding something and hoping that it's still in operating condition, but you need to get away from these zombies. How do you want to do that? Do you again want to fight through this swarm, or just flee away from them? What's your plan?
I'm still down in this little gully area. Yeah. I think I'll try and run up the gully and push them back down. So I don't know if that's a trick or if that's like.
That sounds to me like you're doing the fight a swarm, which is good because that's what your biker thing helps you with that. So it makes sense to lean into that. So let's go ahead and have you draw with savagery.
All right. I have a triumph.
You have triumph. So you will run up this slope and push them down, and you are knocking them aside, and you can get past them, and essentially they're the old zombies, so they kind of clatter and fall, and they're slow to rise. So assuming that you have these keys, do you want to use that as perhaps a way to find some shelter, a safe place here to wait until light, or do you want to keep pressing on, or do you want to keep foraging for supplies?
I really want to keep foraging for supplies, but it seems like it's a remote possibility that actually works. Well, we'll give it one more try.
Okay. So you will go, you'll kind of do the click, you'll find where that car is at, kind of looking around there for that. Let's have you draw 3 cards.
Okay, I got an opportunity and 2 misses.
Okay. So you can mark stress to make that a triumph, and that counts as 2 gear.
Well, that's good. Yeah, like, so but that'll still just be 2 gear. That won't be the full 4 that I need to find the thing.
That is
right?
correct. That is correct. This system is a harsh mistress.
It sure is. All right. Well, I'll mark the stress.
Do you want to push your luck?
Yes, I'll push my luck as well.
Okay.
See if we can make this happen. We're really going all in for this. It ran out of cards.
Oh, I thought I recalled everything.
So question, are you supposed to draw the bite deck before you draw 3 new cards, or do you draw 3 new cards, then the bite deck?
Oh, you draw a bite card, and then you draw the 3 new cards.
Okay.
So it could cancel out the 3 cards regardless?
Push your luck while foraging. Draw a bite card to forage again. You would get the whatever you drew gear wise, but the situation could change.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you just know what's coming your way.
I gotcha. Well, I'll
Unless
let
you draw a bite card, then that's kind of
okay. So there should be 8 cards still in the deck. So you can draw 3 more cards from the survivor deck.
Okay. 3. Draw. It says ran out of cards in deck before drawing all cards.
Let me see here. Recall on table, unplayed, already in deck. That's really weird. Well, if you get the opportunity again, let me see how we do this.
yeah. Like if you hover over the deck, there's no like card underneath that pops up.
Wow, I don't know why. Let me do this. There we
Now
go.
it's there.
Yeah, try that.
Okay.
I don't know. It got some weird logic to it.
Miss Edge.
Miss Edge. Let's also have you draw your bite card.
Okay. I got safe.
You got safe. Now, here's the question. You've got 3 gear. Useful but difficult or bulky?
I mean, like a dirt bike would be difficult or bulky without the keys, but I got the keys. Can we like turn this into a dirt bike, or is that like beyond the pale and I need to draw again? Trying real hard.
You know what? You let me sucker you into drawing twice in the bite deck in the course of this. So I think that I'm going to say that you can get a very basic dirt bike here.
Okay, great.
It's literally like a dirt bike, like a BMX automated dirt bike.
It's a BMX dirt bike, and it's got enough fuel for a one-way trip to the camp. I can't even make it back. All right.
That sounds great to me.
There we go. So I go doing the weed whacker noise all the way through the night towards the military base.
Okay. So I'm going to cut back to the other crew here. In just a second, we're going to take our 5-minute break, and then I want to start with the group heading out on their expedition, and probably we'll kind of do the parallel scenes of you arriving at the base as they're leaving the prison. Does that seem like a fair way to line the times up? So let's take 5, and we'll come back and do that.
Okay. I hear you, but cannot see you, Joe.
What was weird is that we could hear him even though he had the mute symbol on. Like right now.
Spooky.
It's almost Halloween. Dark ghost inside
Can't see me?
Google Hangout.
We cannot see you.
Oh, that's not good.
I mean, it's according to your point of view. I mean, I guess it could be good. But I overall think it's bad.
I see myself.
That's good?
It's not bad.
Man, the City of Mist art is just so pretty. I wish I liked the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
but
try
I
to
like the
connect.
game.
I like the game okay. I want to give it another try with the full set. Now that I have the full book and stuff. I backed the
The
expansion.
latest one?
Yeah, because Chris Spivey had his piece in it, so I wanted to get that. So I backed it.
It's
Cool.
It's quite a beast, but when you get to know it, it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where it would, for me, it would be easier to do face to face because I am used to using, fate like cards to do conditions and things like that. Things a little more challenging online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Had the delightful thing of having my coolant line break, which was super fun. Took the car in. That was only about $180, but showed me that there were about $2,000 worth of repairs I need to do to the car. Tire rods and brake pads and all kinds of stuff.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'd kind of been thinking and been putting it off. And my mechanic is really good. They've always done well by me, so I know they're not just yanking my chain. One time I took it in for something, and when I came to pick it up, they were like, "It was you just had a little gasket thing. The sensor was off, so we didn't charge you." And I was like, "Okay." All right. When David gets back, we will start.
Just let me check something. When we'll be back, I would just want to circle back a little. I think
Sure.
I triggered my trauma card during that
Oh.
scene with Caesar and Regina.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and so what is that trauma card that you have?
I'm coward. I let
Oh.
someone else take the lead on something difficult,
That's awesome.
and I clear stress when that happens. I also get +1 soul.
That is nice.
Nice.
So I save on 4 soul. Just when talking will no longer be a thing.
Who knows? It could be okay. So it's you three and Opal. Are you taking anybody else?
If we get a lot of food, maybe we should have another
Or-
body with us to carry stuff.
What about your bunkmate, Travis?
Nope.
Why not?
he,
He seems resourceful.
I don't think Virginia is going to work with us right now.
yeah.
That's so. I talked to DeMarcus, and he is elected to stay behind. And again, I've never been the best with people.
So,
What about them farmers?
do you want to grab one of the Nuna makers?
No, I don't want to.
I'll suggest it is a good
Neither
idea.
does Michelle. Michelle doesn't want to either. I'm like, they're too valuable behind here.
Yeah, it's fair. I think between the four of us, we'll be okay.
Cesar?
All right.
Okay.
There's probably some kind of transportation or anything we can find at the base. Even if
Should
it's
we
not
talk to one of the soldiers that we said we would talk to?
Oops.
maybe.
Yes, let's go talk. Let's go wrap that up before we head out.
So when you go down there, Irene is kind of sitting around. The door is open, and she's clearly watching. She's still protecting the scientists there, but it looks like Bavara's like crashed in his cell, like he's still recovering from the craziness that. By the way, Joe's image froze with him making a particularly good face. So my thing. So Cesar, she sees you coming. She looks. She doesn't pull a gun or anything on you guys.
We are heading out.
The base isn't a great place to go. I mean, there are supplies there, but the outbreak started in Florida about 6 months ago, down in Jacksonville, and it swept out from there. And there were some protocols that were in place about emergency situations when things like that, not exactly like that, but like this would happen, an infectious disease. And the base nearby here was one of the bases that was set aside for that kind of specialty military research. And they flew in the experts, put them under protection, including the doctor here. And they flew in a bunch of subjects to test, to dissect, to do experiments with, to see if we could find a way around this. And the protocols got broken. And the whole place went up. It went hot. And it's nasty in there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's food. Yeah, there's supplies. It's meant to be a last-ditch post-apocalyptic situation kind of base, but it's also the middle of hell right now.
You said you were working on curing this or working on this thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making any promise, but is there anything you want us to grab over there that might help?
And she'll turn and look at the scientist, and the woman will step forward and she'll say, "We don't have anything here that would help me, even if you grab things there. Our only hope is that the government, somebody's still out there and they come and get us at some point."
What's your deal?
I was the lead on the attempts to find a immunization for the disease.
keeping you locked up?
Keeping me protected. Because I know more about that disease than probably anyone, certainly anyone alive around here.
It's a threat you think that protects you better? Because that's what everyone believes.
She goes, it's the general's decision, not mine.
Well, I think that would explain the general's paranoia for a problem that he created.
Irene will say, we can have this argument when you get back, if you're still alive.
Fair enough.
You know what really could help us come back alive? If one of you two could come with us. Someone who already knows the place. We'll make that mission much more. Rates of success really higher.
Let's have you draw soul.
Yes.
He's good at that.
I am.
He is. Let's see how well it works, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
I read an edge. A second edge. A triumph. And a miss.
So she will look and she'll go, okay, I'll go.
That's really appreciated.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah.
And she will get her gun, and she will follow you out. And Opal's probably a little bit surprised when she sees Irene with you, because the soldiers have kind of kept to themselves in their own way. And the three of you will head out. Tell me what we see on your exit. Joe, you had described something with the barriers and so on. How do you imagine that you actually exit past your strong fences?
So, I mean, it's like a maximum security prison. So, like, they've got the sliding chain link fences, and, like, you know, there is a door exit, but, like, we've got that blockaded, like, obscured by, like, abandoned cars in front of it. So that way, like, we can slip through the door and then move around the cars, so it's not easily seen.
And so you will have to clamber up over and get down. And there's been some noise around here, of course, and some action. So there are more zombies here around in this area. Tell me, you three, and I'll put this question though specifically to Rich. What is your plan for once you've gotten out over the fences? What's your plan for moving out from here?
I was just trying to see if there were if there was any logical point that a prison would have some kind of noisemakers, right? Because drawing them away seems like the smartest method.
That's interesting.
I have a thing for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I pull out a flare gun.
Okay.
And, like, shoot it out towards the distance where it will explode and draw away their attention.
So I think that would either be to make a plan using savagery for essentially being more active, or maybe soul for manipulating, for fooling.
I have I've flipped a lot of soul cards, and would not mind doing the thing I'm actually built to do. So savagery would be good for me.
Then let's
personally
draw +1.
Ooh,
Because I'm a survivalist.
Okay.
Draw +1 when you use your supplies to deal with the dead.
Okay.
Cool. So then, are we each drawing, or do I get the +1? I just want
Well,
to make
I think he's probably helping. So you're going to do your make a plan, and then how many cards do you have revealed, Rich?
I have 1 card revealed.
So then we can have Joe draw.
So I draw a bonus.
You draw a
Okay.
bonus card, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to draw my 3 for savagery. Oh, great. I got a miss, an opportunity, and a triumph.
So you are good. You are golden. So you will tell me what that looks like. How is it that you get out here and get on the road, with that flare gun? What's the next step that you get to on your way to get to the base? Like, what's the midpoint? What's the next piece of scenery there?
Yeah. Kind of imagine that, like there's a flipped over truck, and that's where we first hide behind, and that's where Michelle pulls out her flare gun and she fires it off, and so a small throng move off that way, and we scoot behind them. And I think it would be cool if the midpoint is like a park, not a woodsy park bench, but like a sports park. Like they had several baseball fields here, right, and a soccer field across the street. So it's like a lot of wide open green area, easy for us to be sighted, but also we have a lot of clear vantage point and kind of row of chain link fences there.
Yeah, chain link fences. We probably see the swings that are there by the edges. That we just see the chains that are kind of jangling in the wind here, and there are a lot of zombies, around here. Let me ask then, Travis, before I go back over to Levi. When you guys kind of hit this sort of safe point, what's the other major obstacle that you can see from where you're at this broken down car? What's the other thing between you and getting to that base?
I think we didn't. We didn't mention that base was near the lake or something like that.
I didn't catch that last part.
Did we mention the base being like near the lake or protected by the lake? We have a large body of water.
Yeah, we described that there was certainly a lake by the enclave there that was particularly polluted and filthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the military base is also like near the lake. Maybe even there's a bridge that needs to lead to it, and that might have a lot of wreckage on it, destroyed cars, things like that.
Yeah, so it's a much heavier. I mean, it's you're not going to be able to just walk over to it, kind of thing. Okay, all right. So that's where we kind of pause you. Let's come back to Levi. Levi, do the jumps, BMX dirt bike. And that noise is kind of carrying. Big kind of open area. You go through the grass and the parks, and things are kind of rising up, but you're sailing past. But you will come up kind of short because you do see that military base, and there is a lot of what looks like sort of deep brackish water and rusty wreckage around. It's almost like a moat around the outside of this base. What do you want to do?
Are there a lot of zombies to deal with, or is it just the moat?
Well, as soon as you kind of start moving, you're going to start attracting attention of zombies here, and you will probably have to deal with a swarm in not too much long time. But right now, you've got a little bit of breath here. Certainly, they're being attracted by that that wee sound that's in the disc that came, and following that.
Yeah. So there's not a connected path across this. You got to swim it or something.
Or jump it.
Or jump it. Is it short enough to jump?
It's going to be a hell of a jump to make it on the BMX, but if you're a biker, maybe you could make it.
I think finally the discretion will be the better part of valor for Levi here. I think I will set the bike on its side.
Okay.
And crank the throttle up all the way and loop it so that it just keeps making noise to attract the zombies to the bike.
Okay.
While I try and make a little swim across the moat.
All right. So it seems to me your goal is to get across this water without like swallowing any of this filthy black brackish zombie pee or any of that stuff here, and get across fairly cleanly, right?
Yeah, or else to trick the zombies into going after the bike instead of me.
Yeah,
one or the other.
I think drawing the zombies with the bike, I think that's no problem. I think that's a smart solution. Let's have you do avert disaster though for getting across this moat.
Okie doke.
So that is pulling survival.
Right.
Let me grab your cards back before you do that. Okay, should be shuffled.
Two misses.
Two misses. So you go to swim across this, and it is thicker and fouler than you imagined. And there is that bit when you're kind of going along and one of your feet slips, and when you kind of go to pull it up, you'll realize that something has got a hold of it. And that's probably when it yanks you and you get that first good mouthful of this as your head goes under the water. I think that you are going to suffer harm here.
Okay.
And I think this is more of an incidental thing, since this thing is more grabbing you. It isn't like actually, pulling onto your leg to necessarily hold you down. It's more of an incidental thing. So I want you to draw 3 cards from the survivor deck.
From the survivor deck?
Yeah, let me recall those.
Okay.
And shuffle them. So draw 3 cards. On an edge, you'll do some damage. On a miss, you're dead.
Dang, harsh. I got an opportunity.
Okay. Do you want to spend a stress to make that a triumph?
I sure think so.
Okay. So tell me how you pull yourself out from that with only like a minor but heroic wound.
Oh, I think I just like struggle down here in the murk, and like I gulp in like a lungful of this nastiness. And then it's unclear how I get free, but it seems as though the heavens opened above me and I found myself on the bank on the other side, retching out whatever was just inside my lung.
Yeah. Your throat burns. You can tell. I mean, there's you don't remember the splatters, but there's splatters everywhere of blood and black ichor from where you coughed it up. You may have lain there for a while. Certainly time has passed, but you will get yourself up. There are marks like bruise marks on your ankle where something had a hold of your leg for a bit, but you're also soaked. That black water and stuff, it's in everything. It's down in your shorts. and it's that sandy, gritty water. So it's all up in there in your unmentionables.
That's probably the worst thing I've ever had described to me in all of story gaming. Thank you all.
And there is this is a big military facility. It's got the chain link fence around it, but you're not particularly worried about that because a lot of that chain link fence has been torn out, has been bent out backwards, like things have busted out of it. And you can gather yourself together, and we'll come back to you as you start exploring the base. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds good.
Okay. So you three are heading out along with with Opal and with Irene, and you are going to be essentially trying to get from this midpoint to the base itself. So what's your approach here? How are you doing this? What's the plan? And they have is it savagery? Is it survival? Is it soul? Is it steel? How are you doing this? How do you three proceed from here? You're a little more exposed now, perhaps, than you were before.
Man, Michelle, you're the survivalist. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, my go-to is, we don't take unnecessary risks. We run rather than fight. We want to get there and get back with minimal noise.
You agree with that there, Rich?
I mean, I guess I have to. I'll put
I'm
away
sorry.
the-
Let me ask you again, Rich. Do you agree with that, Rich?
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Travis? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no disagreement. So there's no problem on that score. Don't think you necessarily. Well, you do have accurate current information, so we'll give you that. So I heard the plan, and I heard the plan come from Michelle. So Michelle, I need you to draw survival.
Yes.
With a +1.
All right.
Because of going and getting Irene and having her direct you.
Do we have plenty of resources and people?
I don't think so.
Damn. All right.
But there's no opposition right now. You haven't run into him.
Yeah.
And there's no significant disagreement.
Right. And yeah, I'm not really using. I don't have any supplies that I can think of to help with this. So.
Okay.
All right. I got an opportunity. Miss Edge. I
mark
will
that
take
stress?
that stress.
So
Give me that stress. Yes.
you three will make your way across the open area. You're moving past the jungle gyms and the swings and all of that stuff, and you will see the brackish water of the moat. You'll see the facility, but you will also see like skid marks on the ground and this dirt bike someone has like rigged for the throttle to go on it. It's run out of gas, but it's sitting there, and it might even still be a little bit warm by the time you three get up to it. Travis, what are you thinking? I've heard planning and I've heard thoughts from our others, but what's Travis's take on this right now?
I'm not sure.
Zombies don't ride dirt bikes.
No. Of course it's not zombies. Good guess is that it's Levy. Apart from that, yeah, he's way ahead of us. He has transportation, so
Opal is definitely checking out the bike. You see her kind of check. She checks the fuel gauge on it. She turns the throttle off. And she'll say, if we can find gas, we might be able to get this to run again.
That's something to look for. Yeah.
If we can get gas, I think we should keep the gas separate from the bike.
Okay.
Why? She says.
The bike can carry 2 people at most.
Or one person with supplies that can run ahead of us back to the place.
If we can get gas, we could find a real vehicle that could carry more people and more supplies. Or we could use the gas for other things back at the camp.
That's true.
The less noise, the more alive we are.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You see, you three all agree, and she kind of she nods like, okay, there's enough of you. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. And it seems to kind of settle in. The situation, though, the challenge right now you three have is this moat that you have to get across to get to the actual sort of camp. How do you want to deal with that? Let's ask our survivalist.
Well, should scope the area. Well, no, moat probably the easiest. How wide this moat?
Do you want to assess a bad situation? That's what I
do. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds clever.
That's a pull we haven't had people do for a bit. So that's a pull with steel.
All right. Steel. It's not soul, so I'm better at it.
No, they can't all be winners.
Yeah. 2. Let's see. Nope. It's just a moat. All right. 2. Draw. Triumph.
Nice. So you get to ask 2 questions off the assess a bad situation.
All right. Let's look at that. What's the best way in?
It looks to you like, and Irene will mention, she'll say, we need to go around through some of the shop facilities that's closest to, those doors are closest to where the storage place will be for food. And it takes us away from where I'm betting the mass of the horde is.
All right. What's here is the biggest threat to me?
Well, I'm going to tell you about 2 threats.
All right.
One you already know about. The other one is one you might want to be thinking about. Well, obviously you figure this dirt bike is Levi's, but you haven't seen him yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you've not seen a real trace of him, so he could be anywhere. And he's got a rifle. He could be
shotgun
up on the shot. Well, yeah, he's got guns. He could be up. He could be getting ready to put a bullet in you, like he did that poor guy, your friend. And take him out Amish style. Anyway, so that's one threat. The other thing is, and Irene's clearly getting a little bit weirded out by this. You're not seeing any zombies here by the facility. And Irene's not saying anything, but
I will.
Okay.
This is odd.
She goes, yeah. I don't know if they got drawn off or something, but
yeah, like I would definitely lean over to touch the still running or just finished running dirt bike.
It's kind of warm.
Yeah, And I looked at the others. I'm like, there should be more zombies around here.
Yeah.
Let's not count on them just being away for luck's sake. There's something really, really strange about that.
Well,
And Irene
obviously,
checks the ammo on her pistol. See her do a mental count on that.
check my bowstring.
Okay.
Because I use a compound bow.
Okay. You have boots, leather, high, hard.
I'm rainbowing.
Okay. And you three can begin to move around the outskirts here, heading over towards the doorway that she suggested. And of course, you'll have a +1 to act on it when you go to do that because of the assess a bad situation.
All right.
I'm thinking about cutting back over to Levi, unless does that sound cool with Travis and you, Cesar? Okay. So I think what I'd like to do, Levi, is figure out a way that we can kind of figure out how much stuff you find here. What do you find? And what's the sort of the danger here? Does that sound like a nice quick roll to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be a great time to like try and sync up the times again and see what I got up to over here. If I'm not sure if there's a threat here or not.
Well, there is.
Okay.
So, but let's do this. I think what I'd like to do is avert disaster. You're going to find some stuff here.
Okay.
And I think avert disaster is our way to go. Well, let's see how bad shit goes down. Does that seem like a good way to handle that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then avert disaster, and that is using survival. Let me recall these cards and shuffle and have you do that.
Okay. Two misses. Mm-hmm.
So you will be moving around here and looking and not finding anything and hunting around and about. I mean, this is eating up more time, and perhaps you're like a little bit less aware, A, of the time, and B, of the strangeness that there aren't any zombies here. There's a moat. There's an obvious reason why there wouldn't be any zombies here. So, and the Lord has blessed you, keeping your path clear, right, Levi?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was expecting. A place to get the manna from heaven and bring it back.
And as you are kind of getting towards this sort of later hunt, you will open a set of doors, and you've gone in and peeked in a lot of places, and you've been looking around, and you found some food supplies, like maybe canned peanut butter, that kind of thing. But you will kind of stop and turn and look, and you see a zombie coming towards you, but it's much larger than it ought to be. It's like, imagine like if you were to take a zombie and you were to stuff it with another zombie, and then maybe even a couple of other zombies, like a turducken, like the arms and stuff are bloated, and you can actually see like multiple bones fragments like sticking out from under the skin, and maybe you'll see like a couple of different sets of teeth in its mouth, like maybe one of them stuck sideways. And it moves, like it moves, and at first it kind of moves slowly, and then it start walking at you like the full speed. And it's a good 7.5, 8 feet tall. Its elbows, multiples of them, kind of scraping against the wall there. What do you do? What will you do?
This Goliath
Yeah,
shall be nothing before the wrath of the Lord.
absolutely. It is biblical in nature.
I have nothing to fear from you, you Philistine.
You want to fight the dead?
I think so.
Then let me have you draw your savagery.
All right. Do I get a bonus for the weapons?
Yeah, I think so. I'll give you a +1 for the armed conflict.
Good deal. These are they're all recalled and everything. I'm good to draw.
I believe that they are recalled, and you should be good to draw.
Cool. I got an edge.
All right. So you will reduce their numbers, and you need to choose one from the Fight the Dead.
Okay. On Fight the Dead. Buffer turn.
Attract the attention of a third party, end up in a bad spot, and draw a bite card, or suffer mark stress or suffer harm. Your choice.
Interesting. A third party. I don't think I want to do that. Is it a... Yeah, that's the question. This is the GM choice.
So what it is actually, on a hit, you greatly reduce your numbers and choose one, and on an edge, the GM chooses one as well.
Oh, I see. So you'll also choose one.
Yeah, I'll also choose once you've chosen.
I see. Okay. I will mark a stress.
And I think that just because it fits with the narrative, that I think this is the draw the attention of the third party. And so how do you deal the harm? What is it you're doing to deal the harm? Firing the gun into it?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what's happening here.
So the shotgun goes off. It hits this thing in the shoulder. The force of it, you see like bones splinter and shatter in it, but it's still kind of moving, and it kind of cracks the joint there. But you've given yourself some breathing room as it kind of comes forward. And the three of you who have made your way across safely, you hear the sound of that shotgun, and you will see Levi falling back away from this massive stuffed zombie. What do you do, Cesar?
Come on, let's go. And I'm gonna lead point.
Okay, so you're going to take point, and what are the rest of you going to do?
Well, I'm gonna hang back just for better range.
Okay, but you are helping.
Yes, I'm going to deal with the threat at hand.
And Travis, are you also contributing to this, or are you going to get yourself some room and keep yourself safe?
Seeing as Scissor's taking point now, I'll go into free, I guess.
All right. So when you take point against the dead, Rich, you're going to draw for the group and suffer alone. You draw a +1 for each member of the group that draws a bite card before you draw.
So does he also get the ongoing from the armory?
I would think so.
And
So-
the +1 from my check out the situation thing?
Yeah. So that seems like we start with a 2 before anybody else draws a bite card.
I'd like to reveal my stress.
What?
He is arrogant. So Cesar will clear stress when he blows off someone else's plan to do things his way, and draw +1 when you go on point against the undead.
Okay. So you're not taking their help, right? And is that what I'm understanding? How do you think we resolve that? So when you blow them off, what is getting sacrificed there on from them? Anything?
I was actually just looking for the +1 when I go on point against the dead.
Okay.
Undead. I don't need to. I'm not worried about clearing stress. So I was specifically revealing the card so that I could get a +1 because I may never get the.
So is it just like you rush in before there's we
Sure.
have time to?
I don't know. Like I'm looking for a strategic advantage, and
Yeah.
this card says I get that thing when I do that thing. So
Yeah.
if I have to not get 2 other people helping me, then I'm not going to reveal the card because that seems dumb.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually just so you're going to get 1 card base, and then everybody who draws a bite card is going to give you an additional card towards you're taking the pull.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And you guys don't have to take any cards. It's all good. So I get 1 card base.
I already got you
Normally-
+2 cards. So
Yeah.
Well, that's my question: is does that apply in a situation where he's rejecting your aid?
well, he's already been geared up from the armory.
Okay, so
he probably has that no matter what.
yeah, so
Right.
let's say let's give him the base +2 and then +1 for each bite card.
Okay, but I'm happy to say with the arrogant that you guys aren't drawing by cards, and I'll just go with the 3 cards that I'm pulling. Is
Okay.
it 3 or is it 4?
Right now I was counting it at 2 with
It's 1 base, +1 from the lookout, +1 from the armory, +1 from arrogant.
So this
Right.
is, I mean, this is a play testing thing, but this is going to be a weird move in regards to also helping and interfering.
Yeah, I'm seeing some. Well, let's move into playtest mode for just a moment here. It is weird. I'm trying to figure out how that
'Cause
go
it's,
on the point works.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this seems like a time when I would probably
Like,
try and help my co-conspirator in life.
yeah,
but
like I could
wouldn't
not
work
pull
here.
a bite card and still pull 2 cards for him to help him after the fact.
Let's take a look here. Okay.
Yeah, and just so it's clear because I know Simon, you've
When
only
a
played
group of
I'm not
PCs
upset. I just
Yeah.
want to figure out like what's.
I want to figure it out too. Specific special moves. When a group of PCs would make a zombie move together, one of them should go on point. They will draw for the whole group and suffer consequences of the move alone. Each member of the group who draws a bite card allows the PC on point to draw +1 for the zombie move. So I think we actually have you making a move, Rich.
Okay.
And so I think you are trying to. Are you fighting the dead? Are you fooling the dead? Are you fleeing the dead? What is it that you want to have happen there?
Fighting is going to take down this turducken zombie.
Okay, so I think then you would normally be pulling with your savagery,
Mm-hmm.
and then anyone would get the bonus for the weaponry. Right. So it's a +1 on whatever. What's your savagery?
3.
3. So put the +1 would be a 4, and then if you'd be pulling with 4 cards, and then if anybody drew a bite card, they would add to that.
How would we draw a bite card?
You would just say you're going to draw a bite card.
We would volunteer to draw a bite card.
Yeah.
We wouldn't aid and give him the benefit of our aid. We would draw a bite card.
As I'm understanding this,
Yeah,
if we do this as a group,
Right. PCs
Yeah.
can't help or interfere with each other on zombie moves.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Follow-up
That's,
question.
Yeah.
Go on point specifically says max of +4.
I would assume that means the max at +4 people assisting, right?
That's what I think.
Okay. I didn't know if it was max of +4 cards or.
That's a good question. Well, we're at a 4 right now, so let's just go ahead and roll with that, Rich.
Because that wouldn't
Roll
make
with
sense.
it. Okay,
Stats,
I'll
yeah.
roll. I keep saying roll too.
I know. Yeah.
Roll those cards.
All right, I'm drawing 4 cards.
Drawing 4 cards. We're checking that against Fight the Dead.
I got a miss, and I also got another miss. But I got an opportunity and a triumph. Yay!
Okay. So tell me what that looks like with you kind of soloing it out against this zombie.
I think that it's not like Cesar's not. He's not on the cast of Walking Dead, right? He is not Daryl. It's messy. I think it takes because Michelle's Daryl.
Right.
It's messy. I think that Levi is fighting it off. He like grabs Levi and tries to shove him aside. The thing barrels forward, knocks him to the ground, and they use the axe to snap at his knee. Because guess what? Physics still works on these.
Yes. So yeah, you'll hit it and you kind of render. It's not down. It's not dead. But you have crippled it so that it's going to have to crawl, further. And it kind of gives off this bellow that you'll kind of hear echo around.
That is noisy.
Down the hallways. So let me come then when after your Cesar has kind of taken point and chopped this down, and you guys have done that. Levi, they just helped you. There's this big zombie there. There are more coming. What do you want to do, Levi?
Is the big one taken care of?
Like they have put axes to its knees, plus the damage that you did earlier. Like you've got enough room to be able to move away from this thing.
Okay.
Because its legs have been crippled, so it's going to have to drag itself along to get to you.
I gotcha. But there are other ones that are coming.
It has certainly made noise, yeah.
Other regular zombies that are coming. Where the hell did they come from? This island was empty of zombies. Now there's zombies. God damn it. Movie logic.
What does Levi say to these people?
I think I step up onto the back of this giant zombie and put the shotgun to the back of its head and shoot it in the back of the head. And I'm like, we must stop the Philistines. They are here. They are among us.
So he begins to rant a little, even as he steps over and empties his shotgun into the back of this zombie to put it down. Michelle.
I'll shoot him with an arrow.
Okay.
Yeah. I just shoot him with an arrow.
You shoot me with an arrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're so busy proselytizing and shooting the back of the back of the head of this zombie, making even more noise.
So there is a against other people. There is the turn to violence. But when you turn to violence against the uninfected, draw savagery.
Yep. You gotta draw those cards back.
Oh, hang on a second. Let me grab those back. Okay.
Stories. Armed conflict +1 ongoing. So I got that going for me. And all right, so I'll get to pull 3 because you're not the dead.
Correct.
Yet.
Oh, right. Edge, miss.
So you get to choose. You're going to trade harm, and you choose 2 from the turn to violence.
All right. Inflict terrible harm.
Okay.
And suffer little harm. No, wait. Avoid collateral damage.
Okay, so essentially, so nobody's going to shoot your compatriots when you do this.
Yeah. And this is when I'm going to reveal my trauma.
Okay.
I'm cruel, clear of stress when I inflict serious harm on a PC. They must discard the highest card when they draw to take serious harm.
Oh, so you're a real bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
All right.
So 1 stress, but I'll probably get 1.
So you're still going to suffer harm, but you are going to have because you took the reduction of harm. You're going to get to draw 2 cards there for your thing, Michelle, on the suffer serious harm.
Okay.
Let me draw the survivor deck first. Hold on. Draw 2 cards. You would like to get
low.
You would like to get a hit.
Okay. Draw additional card for each true statement. Okay, none of those are true. 2. I got an edge.
You got an edge.
Yes.
So you have a choice. It's messy. What he does to you, you'll die without immediate aid. It's painful. You'll take -1 ongoing till you get rest. Or it's lasting. One of your stats goes down by 1 permanently.
Lasting.
Okay. So David, what is the lasting injury that you do to Michelle in this exchange?
Could you say those again? The 3 or the...
So he took
different
lasting. So
Yeah.
you're essentially taking one of his stats down by 1.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, with your gun or whatever, when he turns to shoot at you, and you reply, where are you hitting him? And then we'll resolve your damage on you.
I gotcha. Yeah, and I just forewent any opportunity to try and interfere because it seemed really complicated. I guess I'll just take down his savagery.
Okay.
Because I think
is that a leg wound, an arm wound? What do you imagine that is?
no, I don't think I return fire.
Oh, okay.
I think he just like Michelle just perceives the destruction of innocence and like it scars Michelle mentally.
Okay.
Like, even if it's mad innocence, like it's innocence.
Sure. And
I could also see Opal getting revenge on your behalf as well.
I don't think you take any physical harm here. I think it's all mental.
Cool.
And then because he did inflict terrible harm, you're going to draw 1 card from the survivor deck, David, to see what happens.
From the survivor deck, okay.
Yeah.
It's all shuffled up and ready to go.
Yep.
Okay.
And doesn't he immediately discard it?
I got a miss. So what does that mean?
So on a miss, he kills you.
All right, I'm dead.
So tell me what that looks like.
I didn't intend to kill you. Whoops.
Well, you inflicted terrible harm, right?
That's true. So I did want to reveal my cruel cards.
You can't say to me that you weren't intending to kill her when you said, I'd like to take the inflict terrible harm option, lol.
Yeah. Learning.
It's kind of like when my puppy puts his mouth on the frog and the frog stops moving and he's like, whoa, the game's over.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. See, this is why it's all mental damage.
All right. So Yeah,
It's
like
all
I
mental
was
damage.
going for the shoulder, but then like, you know what? Like I'm cruel. Then I just like move the aim and shoot the arrow right through his throat to shut him up.
And so you will be kind of stunned by that as Levi falls.
Definitely emotional stress now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to come back to a point on this scene when we get to the end. But Travis, what do you do?
I'm aghast.
Because it looks like Opal's probably going to draw her gun and maybe put a fool down.
Okay, I'm going to try to calm her.
Okay, tell me what you say to Opal so she doesn't put a bullet.
What I can say. I think firstly I'm going to place myself physically between her and Michelle.
Absolutely, that seems like a reasonable thing to do.
And just like, no, not now.
Let's have you pull your steel for calming an NPC down.
And I will aid if I'm still capable of doing so.
That's interesting.
For you?
Yeah, you can mark stress to do that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm just holding it. I'm just holding a hand out as like this arrow's in my neck and I'm collapsing.
Yeah.
To
The
Opal.
GM will tell you when. Yeah. So
Yeah. Do you think? Are you? I mean, is this Opal? Are you telling Opal not to?
Yeah, I'm just holding a hand out, like don't do anything, like don't do it.
That sounds perfect. So let's have you then pull steel with a +2. Travis.
Plus,
Is it plus my cards that are revealed or?
Oh yeah, it is. I thought it was.
So
is it
3.
2 or is it 3? +3.
That's 3. Yeah.
all right. All right, so best thing I have is Iron Edge or an opportunity. I will take that stress
Okay.
because I'm really stressing right now.
So she's there and she's upset. I mean, she clearly cares about Levi, cares, thinks that he was misunderstood, and has just seen this guy put an arrow, and she was gonna open up, but then it's Levi that holds out his hand as if to say, "Don't do it," and she's like, she pulls the gun up and motherfuckers. Cesar.
What the fuck? Michelle, damn it.
he was drawing unneeded attention. Not to mention he stole from us and killed one of us.
I'm sorry, Opal. We'll give him a proper burial. We need to finish this. Too many people have died because we're running out of food.
And she'll nod, and Irene will say, let's get to where the reserves are. Let's get what we can. We need to get out of here before more of those things come.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so let me ask you this, you three. What do you do about Levi's body?
I mean, we need to. I'm not gonna have zombie Levi haunting me, so we need to dispose of it. I've got my axe handle is sharpened specifically for this thing, so I'll do it.
Then why don't you roll savagery?
All right. I will flip 3 cards of savageness.
Hang on. Let me pull the cards back. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Are they back?
Now they're back.
Yeah, they're back.
How to tell? Guess
I like
magic
how
powers.
everybody's doing Marvel. But me.
I got an edge. And 2 misses, of course.
An edge and 2 misses. You can mark stress or draw a bite card.
I'll try it. I think I'll help.
Oh, okay. How many cards do you have exposed, Rich?
I have 2 exposed right now.
Then Travis may draw 2 to assist you.
Another miss and an opportunity. If you want to take a stress, you can turn that into triumph.
It's net gain, though. Right?
Yeah, it's probably better for him to mark the stress and take the triumph than it is to
Mark a stress.
Yeah, I think I'll take that
And-
triumph. That sounds good.
and go for the well. Take a bite. Draw
No,
a
it
bite card.
says mark a stress or draw a bite.
Although watching,
Oh,
zombie
you're right.
Levi killing.
Yeah, that's why it's a net gain. It's
Yeah.
the same effect.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask David this question, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to have you narrate your return back. David, how much food do they find?
I think they find enough to last. I think it's like 3 months worth of MREs. And like if it's possible, I'd want like a really quiet, whispery word before I get an axe in the head with
The gurgle.
Okay.
The gurgle.
Who do you whisper to? Who can hear you?
Oh, it's the one who's going to execute me. He's going to put me down.
Well, then I think that's Cesar.
Mm-hmm.
Cesar got the axe handle. It sounds like Levi's trying to say something.
And I like reach up a hand and bloody hand and put a palm print on your shin to get your attention.
Got cut across the throat.
I know I've got his arrow in my throat.
He's a zombie. I'm doing it. I'm finishing him off.
Well done, Cesar. We've conquered the Philistines. The rest will flee. And there is the manna from heaven. And my head slumps back as my outstretched arm points toward all of the MREs. And you better put a spike in my head before I become a zombie.
Okay, I'll do that thing.
I think we fade to black and hear the ka-thunk of your blow to take him out. So let me ask you this then. In the aftermath of this, with the MREs in hand, with Levi's body de-zombified but out in the wasteland, Travis, what do you think comes of this? David has set it up. You found the MREs. You found the mana. He's given his last words. What do you think happens in the aftermath, Travis, after you return back?
I really don't think it's going to be easy to go back. We have a lot of position inside the prison with what's his name? There's too much card in front of him.
With Tamarcus?
DeMarcus, and maybe also Regina. Yeah, won't team me up with him. I think there's enough people that doesn't want us back.
But you got all that food, so you have to negotiate hard to get back in. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, negotiate or having to fight our way through.
What do you think? What do you think, Michelle? What is that process of getting back in, and what comes next? What does that look like?
Well, I mean,
You've got all the MREs.
they have an empty armory because
That's
we
true.
drained that.
Drain the armory, and you've got 3 months worth of food.
Yeah. So I feel like while there might be DeMarcus rallying to stay in control, that we have more cards than they do.
And do you push hard on that?
Yes, because remember they only had 1 day's left of food left.
You can starve them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they let you back in. There's some tension. They let you back in. Opal is still simmering. Virginia is still pissed at still pissed at you guys. And I
didn't do
mentioned
nothing to Virginia.
yeah. I mentioned that Percy is praying and probably trying to regain his foothold. So, Opal speaks the Gospel of Levi. So let me ask you the sort of last question, Rich. What do you think we're going to see here in the aftermath of this?
At the risk of like overstepping bounds, people can like tell me to pull back. I kind of imagine a moment where we're enjoying the food and Cesar comes up behind Michelle and slaps the cuffs on her. With every intention of having a trial.
Oh, that's a good fade to black ambiguous
I'm
moment.
into it because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna get off.
Maybe so.
Like we literally got there and had to save him, so he could have waited.
Yep, he could have.
All right, so I think that's where we'll stop on that fade to black there. I would like to talk about things you liked or things you would like to have seen more of. Let me point to a couple things that I did very badly tonight. David made a really good point when he pointed out that, especially with the conflict, I always find PvP conflicts in PbtA always one of the most challenging things to do. And what I really should have done there, I really should have stopped and given David the opportunity to do the interfere with the action there, because that's how it's supposed to work. It is a weird kind of multi-step thing, and I think I got rolling too fast, and so that I stole some of David's autonomy in that moment there. So that was a little odd, and I'm still trying to figure out all the moves. Especially like the go on point and those things. I feel like I'm still not 100% on those. So I want to definitely say that I felt that from my end of things. But with that being said, there's a lot I like here. I think that PbtA Zombie is very cool. So Simon, I want to go around. Anything you want to point to that you dug, that you thought was particularly good, and then I'll come back to you again and ask if there's anything you would have liked to have seen more of. So I want to start with you.
Well, I like almost everything. It was a pretty good game. Anything I want to point out? Well, just for the game per se, and it's cool to have cards, but I'm not sure what they really add to the game instead of just tweaking up the probabilities.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so for that's certainly a little bit different than I feel, but I can see where you didn't see that like was adding much. Okay, that's fair enough. They would like to have seen it do more at the table. Okay.
Also, like you mentioned, there's some moves that are a bit confusing, and I think some people wants to be like quick and easy and you can roll up character in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But if the moves are a bit clunky, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment. David, what about you? Let me come around to you. Your thoughts. You're a much more veteran PbtA person than I am, so I'm really curious what you think.
As far as like
were there things that you liked? I want to start with that.
Oh yeah,
things that you dug.
Oh yeah. I like the setup of this game. I've actually had the opportunity to do the setup twice.
Okay.
I played this with on a one shot, and then I played it with this group here, and I think the setup really works. The way that you build your little community, set up your player, and have some hidden information that you can reveal later, and then like. I think you did a good job of building the allies, and I'm not entirely sure if that's per the rules or if you just did that of your own volition, but I really liked it, where we each had our own like confidant in the community.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a more recent thing. But
That's the rules as written. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't do that in the one shot. Like that was not a thing that happened in the one shot that I was a part of.
Yeah, I think this must be maybe a more recent thing. But yeah, I like it too. I think it's
I think it's a great idea.
Does.
This felt like a great zombie story, and I love zombie stories. There's so much good zombie story happening here, where, and I really got to say, like, I appreciate everyone here who allowed me to kind of be the bad guy, because there's usually a main character bad guy that's a human in zombie stories. It's not the zombies that are the problem, it's a human. So I really appreciate everyone putting up with.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be based off my character creation.
Yeah. That was a good turn. Yeah.
So those were all wonderful, wonderful things. This was like I would read this short story. This was a great short story about zombies.
Joe, what about you? Things that you dug?
I like playing off of each other. The story we told was really good. Things that dug mechanically. I dig the cards, but I don't think like we interacted with the bite deck that much. So like it's hard to say in regards to that, just from what we experienced in these two sessions. Because I feel like that might, I don't know if that's supposed to get drawn more than we've drawn from it.
Yeah, I wonder how much that is the case.
And like for until I just looked it up, I was wondering, I'm like, what does stress even do? And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I guess this is just supposed to keep piling on just so we can get more and more traumas. And so like I was into that because like like the survivor thing, the card that I had, I'm like, oh, I can ignore a bite result. Oh wait, there's only one bite card. Never mind. I don't want to risk it just to try to draw that one out of however many. And granted,
do you think that means ignore a bite result from the bite deck, or ignore a result from any result from the bite deck?
I think it's specific to the bite result.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the other stuff, like why would you ignore a safe result?
Okay.
Because you want trouble.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would disagree. I think it means you don't have to draw from the bite deck. Not does it say you don't have to draw, or does it say you can ignore the results?
It says you can ignore it says a bite exclamation result drawn from the bite deck by taking a new trauma.
So it's the bitten.
Okay.
You're gonna die.
Yeah. Okay, so you were right.
Still draw, but you don't have to take it. Oh,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, you don't die,
right.
you just get a trauma.
Yeah, it is a.
Which I was like, ooh, trauma. I like trauma.
And it is a 1 in 16 thing there.
Yeah,
so it is a little limited.
Yeah.
Rich.
And another thing was stress. I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's supposed to be more ways where that keeps adding on, but like that, I don't know. I ended up with 0 stress at the end because I cleared one. So, and both stress that I've taken, I cleared eventually. So,
yeah, there are some ways to suffer harm or mark stress, and I thought I was hitting people with more stress than I have in the past, but I might be wrong. Might be wrong perception on that.
It might be just my character didn't have to deal with a lot of this stuff where I marked that more stress. So,
Rich, things that you dug. I mean, you've played this before, so
I've played a few iterations, and I really enjoyed the plot that you developed, especially since you had to spin it off of things that we extemporaneously threw out. The idea of the corporal, and then all of a sudden he's a general, the professor, and the idea of the weird experiments. I can't believe that you decided to use Jacksonville as your
Of course I did.
spawning point. What is wrong with Jacksonville, you guys? They have a great football team. Blake Bortles. And so I really enjoyed all of that plot that was going on there. The description of a turducken zombie, I almost X-carded it. It was just so potent. And then the description of what it was compounded on top of it. I was like, okay, this is what you're here for, Rich. Just buckle up. And it was good. And then the other thing, this is a weird rose, but like that moment of, oh, I'm cruel, let me shoot Levi, and then I knew I had to bring it for that reaction. So because that was great, that was a great moment. And so me dropping the F-bomb, and there was a moment,
it was
and
good.
then my son stuck his head in the room, and he was like, and he was smiling because he just caught me, and he goes, "Father, language." He literally says, "Father, language." And I'm like, get the hell out of here. But it was a good moment. It was one of those like 1-2 punches of like our fake life, my real life, how they intersect. It amused me, even though I was embarrassed terribly.
Go back to playing Fortnite, son.
Oh, dude, seriously, you have given him so much hell over GTA. But yeah, so that was a funny little rose that happened to me.
Quickly, anything we would have liked to have seen more of? I think for me, I think we got more zombies on the table, but I would have liked to have seen some more interactions on that. I think that could have been better. And of course, obviously, I would like to get better about handling the PvP stuff. So that's something I'd like to do more of and get a handle on. Simon, anything you would like to have seen more of?
Not sure. I would have liked like 1 or 2 more sessions, but nothing precise.
Okay, no, I think that's a fair answer. David, what about you?
I'm still like grappling with the idea of the survivor deck and the bite deck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure those probabilities like equate to the typical PbtA outcome, which is fine, you know. It means like the survivor deck generally means you fail more, but the bite deck generally means like you don't feel it as much. But when you do feel it, it's like immediate and almost arbitrary, which is somewhat in keeping with the zombie genre.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, and I think you've played this before, so you know, when I've run this face to face, we tend to have maybe about this much bite deck pulls, but almost no safes. Like every time I've had players pull from the bite deck, it's been bad stuff. So I was a little surprised how many safe results we got today.
Yeah, it's a strange. Like I was doing the math, like the probability math on the survivor deck, and then like kind of incorporating the bite deck math in there too. And it's like the fact that you always reshuffle the bite or the survivor deck and you don't reshuffle the bite deck until you draw the bite card, like it leads to very strange and meta level decisions of when you'll choose to draw from the bite deck given the option to do so.
Right.
Which I don't know, like it could. I'm afraid it will lead to strange results.
Well, and certainly, you know, that's always a question. I kind of like the push your luck meta stuff. So, but I can see where it could operate oddly with that. So I think it's really sharp.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you drop in the bite deck a few times, and all of a sudden, like it's depleted. It's like, man, I'll just do everything I possibly can. Otherwise, I might just die right here.
Yeah.
But then the fact that there are actually skills, backgrounds, and traumas that will let you just disregard the bite, it seems almost too powerful.
Yeah.
Like there are straight up.
It's highly situational, but it's very powerful in that situation.
Well, what was the one that I had?
Is it
Yeah,
supposed to be situational?
When you fight a swarm of zombies, mark stress to avoid drawing a bite card. Like, I can just avoid drawing a bite card anytime it's a situation where I fight zombies.
Yeah, you're right.
Somebody else had one where they could disregard the result of a bite card. Wasn't that you there, Joe? That you can disregard the result?
I can ignore a bite result drawn by taking a new trauma.
Yeah,
and that's under any circumstance.
But that's with the bite with like
1 in 16 chance.
B bite. The
right.
one.
So you're invincible. You can never die if you choose to do so. Like by way of zombie, anyways.
Oh, by way of zombies, but there are other ways to die.
Yeah, but you're maxed to 4 traumas, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see where serious harm, then because that pretty serious harm can really just take you out.
Right, but that was a player versus player situation. Can that occur in a non-player versus player situation, or
absolutely.
Is he just immune?
Absolutely, there are plenty of ways to have to deal with serious harm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like if I had just drawn misses, I also would have died.
You would have just died from serious harm from some other source.
Yeah, because you exchange harm when he did the attack, and it's not to the bite deck; it's about the pulling the serious harm stuff.
Interesting. Even though I didn't choose to deal harm to him.
Yeah, because of the way that it's exchange harm is how it is.
Yeah, see, that's so weird because I had no intention of hurting him.
Yeah,
it is a weird.
That's would have been a point where I should have slowed us down and walked us through. I think at that point.
Yeah,
right. But my intention not to hurt him doesn't mean he wouldn't drive himself crazy and then wander off into the zombie apocalypse.
Right, but
so
if
I kind of see it
down, we could have negotiated that out, and I don't think I gave us the opportunity to do that.
Well, but yeah, I understand. I didn't interrupt and say, "Hey, I interfere" or anything like that. But I don't know, in a strange way, in zombie fiction, that makes sense. He might just kill me, or she might just kill me, and then her own remorse would or her own trauma.
Give people the opportunity to have that, in their fiction.
That's a common theme in zombie fiction, but it's I don't know. This is a really interesting system.
Interesting system.
Yeah, and that specific scenario is all right, what makes sense in the fiction? Let's go with that type of scenario.
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing I would say, if I could say, hey, authors change this one thing, based on my experience, I would say, hey, work on that try and find something useful bit, because that was not satisfying to try and find a dirt bike. That was really frustrating.
Interesting, because I've had people say the opposite. So I need to definitely look at that, because it's certainly a point of friction that needs to be examined.
Yeah, I think you were very generous to me. Rules as written, I think it could have gone either way, but many GMs might have just been oh no, keep digging, and it would have been oh really.
Joe, anything else you would have liked to have seen more of at the table?
Well, yes, but it was kind of covered.
Okay.
The turn to violence. We had a great player villain, so we didn't need any NPC villains to step up to the plate. Where we would have more reason to turn to violence more often against actual rivals that are trying to take over and whatnot. So with Levi stepping up to the plate so quickly, it's oh yeah, no, we don't have to worry about anyone else because we're all focused on this threat. So but I don't know. Yeah,
okay. I think that's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Rich, can I give you a final word on that? Is there anything you would have liked to have definitely seen more of at the table?
Just so War Zombies, because that was my favorite parts when we were facing zombies. It was cool, and your zombies were the worst zombies in a good way. And I felt like for a 2-shot, we got kind of forced in a situation where there was a lot of, and I think you did a pretty decent job of spotlight management, but when one player was kind of dominating play because we broke up, and so there's a lot of Levi stuff, and I understand it was like interesting, but I also only had 2 shots, so like
Yeah.
it
This is a challenge to manage.
is
So-
it always is.
But it still is. I mean, I love the zombie story that we had here. So it was cool. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I'm going to stop the broadcast on that. I've still got to run. I got to run this again next month. I think I've got more sessions of this. I think I'm going to get up to 9 total. So we will see.
You trying to get that on your ladder?
No, my ladder's already pretty much done. I'm just happen to be doing extra stuff. So
Wow.
yeah. All right.